orchestra class, welcome back. Today we're looking at number 333, Little Ducklings, on page 28 in your book. We're looking at how to play the fourth finger D on the G string. This is especially for the violin viola, not so much the cello, obviously. Your open D string will work just fine. So would the violin viola, but it's really important to get that pinky finger super strong. Cello's already using their pinky. So violins, violas, time to up your game still. All right, so let's go over the pitches for Little Duckling. It is a German folk song, so we're on the key of G. We also start everybody on open G string. And it looks like we walk our way up. So let's kind of just look over the notes. We start on G, first finger A, two finger violin viola, B, that's three fingers cello. Then we get to C. This is the first measure. That's four fingers cello, three fingers violin viola. Then we get to a measure 2 where we have that open D for cellos, but we have fourth finger D for violins viola on the G string. Then we play open D on the second half note. So they should sound about the same, depending on where you put it. Of course, that's why we're playing the fourth finger D and the open D, to kind of make sure that we can hear whether or not that position for our pinky is accurate. That's something to practice with a tuner, especially if you can. Then measure 3, we have just E's on the D string. That's 4 E's, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an open D for a dotted half note, which gets 3 beats of sound. Then beat 4 is a rest with a retake over it. Don't rush that retake, and don't make that rest too long. So just wait 1 beat, circle, and back down to the next measure on the second line, where we have 4 C's on the G string. That's 3 fingers violin viola, 4 fingers cello. C, 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 C. Then half note B's. That's 2 fingers violin viola, 3 cello on the G string. Another B half note. The second to last measure, measure 7, is 1 finger on the G string, A 4 times, and then a dotted half note G for 3 beats, and then a rest. Okay. So let's give it a go. We're going to try just real quick going over how for violins, violas, you are listening to the pitch or for the pitch accuracy for a fourth finger D on the G string versus an open D, how that works for you. So when you're playing, this is on the violin that I'm playing, but it works the same for the viola. I'm going to place my pinky on the orange tape or the fourth red tape, and I'm going to play the G string on that. So I hear that in my head while I'm playing. On the up bow, I'm going to play that open D. It should sound exactly the same, maybe just a little quieter with the same amount of strength or speed on the bow than it would be on the open D string. So it's not as loud or bright. Now, my finger is just a little bit off like I have here. Oh, let me get it closer. Notice that my orange tape is right in front of my pinky rather than on it. Okay, this is what I get instead. You can barely hear the difference, but if I do this, where I call it double stop, I kind of bend my pinky and make a I bend my pinky to make a tunnel, and I'll double stop, play both the D and G strings while my pinky is still down pressing, and I can hear the difference then. Hear that waviness? La 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 la. That's because the frequency is fighting itself because they're so close together. It's creating that really harsh wave sound. So while I'm playing, I can actually adjust my pinky by sliding up or down depending on where my pinky is currently to match pitch. So I can go down. That's still not it. So let's go up. That wasn't it. So now I know it's in tune. Now you can try to do that. That's kind of hard. It takes a little bit of strength and technique, and you'll notice that your pinky starts to hurt a lot, especially because you have to curve it down so much. But it's super helpful if you use a tuner while you practice your fourth finger on anything, or any finger for that matter, to make sure that you're playing for pitch accuracy. Okay, so this exercise helps you with that, especially because it's involved with the exercise. So for your recording, make sure you practice that fourth finger D to open D to match that fourth finger D perfectly in tune before you record for 333, your submission. So here's what the violin viola will sound like if you rehearsed it. And we're playing this at moderato. So I'm going to put the tempo to about 100 beats per minute. It's pretty low or speed moderato. And this is what it should sound like if you play it at the right tempo that is written here. Otherwise, you can play it a little bit slower, just not any faster, please. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's what it should sound like on the violin viola at moderato. Here's what it sounds like at a slower tempo, say 60 beats per minute at a largo. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's what it is on the violin viola. Let's try it now on the cello, yeah? Here we are at 100 beats per minute, moderato with the cello. There's that speed there. And make sure we're always in control of the bow and our fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's slow it down to 60 beats per minute. And let's try it together if you can. Again, we're not worried about any like weird fourth finger stuff. You're already playing a fourth finger C. And just play 2 open Ds on that second measure. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you have it. So, like I've said before many times, make sure you rehearse your music as much as best you can. Doesn't matter if it's turned in late, as long as it's turned in before the end of the week. And make sure that you are practicing all you can within that exercise or beyond that, if you want to go ahead, before you do your submissions. That way I can give you feedback on the best that you can play for me. All right. Now, you still may have some mistakes. You still may not play to your best ability because that day maybe you weren't feeling too well and you needed to get it done. Just know that I'm not trying to be critical of you because you're terrible musicians. All right. You're just beginners. You're not terrible. You're actually very, very good. You guys gotten far, far along this book than we had in the past. And we're also remote. So there's a lot to put into that because of the time difference and that's not being in face-to-face. So you have the time, though, to put in the effort to practice this stuff way before you do your submission. Rehearse it, make it perfect if you can, and then do your recording, all right? And, of course, you can do it as many times as you want to. So good luck in your recordings, and I can't wait to see them. Have a good one.